चलो फर्स्ट सवाल क्या है?
जो यहाँ पे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस रखी गई है, इसका मेन उद्देश्य क्या है? एम व्हाट इज द एम ऑफ द
This
प्रेस ऑफ
Press conference. Yeah, thank you. We want to focus on some critical issues on Nobel Prize, particularly years of 2000, 2014, and 2023. So let's go back to 2000. The Nobel Prize was given for conductive polymers, but only conjugated conductive polymers was given the credit. Non-conjugated conductive polymers, which I reported back in 1988, did not receive any credit. Not only that, on the Nobel Foundation website, an incorrect statement is given that only conjugated polymers can be conductive. Now, we of course experimentally it was verified that non-conjugated polymers can be conductive. A conjugated polymer means it has a double single this that repeats in the polymer. In non-conjugated polymers, essentially it has to have at least one double bond in the polymer repeat. And if a non-conjugated polymer becomes conductive, then of course conjugated polymers become conductive because it just has more double bonds there. So conjugated polymers is a special case of non-conjugated conductive polymers. Now, scientists around the globe, they have accepted that the fact that and the Nobel laureates have agreed that this is my statements are correct. This and the paper that was published in '88 clearly showed experimentally that non-conjugated conductive polymers that provides the correct fundamental basis for conductive polymers. But and the Nobel Committee has agreed that that is true, but have not taken any action yet.
Sir, my question is why would the government US give you a Nobel Prize? Why?
No, that is Sweden. Sweden gives it.
The Nobel Prize is given by Royal Swedish Academy.
Okay.
Now, because they are incorrect, so but my theory is correct, experimental verified. So their basic assumption is incorrect. So that's why
Any
I should have
example?
received.
Any example?
And that was paper was published back in '88. So the Nobel Prize was given in 2000. So there is no reason for not to give credit to the correct experimental and theoretical discoveries. Now in 2014 also the Nobel Prize was given for super resolved fluorescence microscopy. However, the theory behind and the experiments behind it was done about 10 years before by us, and they essentially plagiarized those theoretical and experimental information and showed that the super resolved microscopy works, and they did not provide any reference to the equation that they used. That equation comes from our work actually. So there was some legal communications that went forward, and it was agreed that we are correct, but still the committee, the foundation did not make any changes yet or have not given any.
Where will you appeal now? अब इसके बाद कहाँ appeal करेंगे?
There is the appeal is essentially it's an academic, mainly an academic issue, of course, from my standpoint, from a educational standpoint, that the correct theories, correct science should be presented at the Nobel website, and those who did those work should be given credit. Also, in last year's Nobel Prize, quantum dots, they gave the prize for quantum dots, which was done 45 years ago, but we have done much better than what they did in terms of dimensions. Quantum dots, we have shown that sub-nanometer size quantum dots can be produced using non-conjugate conductive polymers, and that it gives the largest nonlinear optical susceptibilities. Again, that was not given any credit.
Would like to
Yes.
say something to The government there, USA, कहना चाहेंगे?
Of course, what we want to see all the governments to make use of this non-conjugate conductive polymers. They are extremely good in absorbing or picking up, capturing iodine. So if they put that polymer around the nuclear reactors or anything that emits radioactive iodine, if they put it around it, then they reduce the chance of people getting exposed because the iodine cannot escape that site. And we have approached, of course, the Indian government and we tried USA, but we hope that India can lead in this on this issue, and we are definitely ready to work on this issue. And I hope again our newly elected Prime Minister takes action on this.
Do you want to say something to the government of India?
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to mention. That government of India can take action on this issue. That using this polymer that we have discovered, and we have shown that it has the highest efficiency of absorbing, of capturing radioactive iodine. And radioactive iodine causes thyroid cancers because iodine selectively want to go to thyroid tissue, and iodine can stay in the vapor phase. That means at room temperature it can get in air just and travel through air. For example, after the Fukushima disaster, the iodine from the radioiodine went to California. It was found in California and caused some illnesses in children. And again, they usually potassium iodide to protect against radioiodine, because potassium iodide, what it does, it collects around the thyroid and goes against further absorption of radioiodine. However, that's a very passive method. This is much better. If you protect or if you put a barrier around the reactor, then the radioiodine cannot escape that. So we may not need even potassium iodine.
Do you want to give any message to the people of the world?
The educational aspects must be given priority. So the Nobel website must correct these statements, make the basic assumptions. That plagiarism is, of course, is very poor quality for any education or scientific community, and putting equation without giving a reference, that's called plagiarism. The equation is coming from somebody else's work, and also the committee should be much more careful and providing justified credit to any person of any nationality or any other divisions of ethnic backgrounds and so on.
Thank you.